Welcome, everyone. Kendrick Brown here with Rise Workshops, and I actually don't have my mic muted this time. I actually came on and my mic wasn't muted. Welcome to Rise Workshops, Rise Live with Kendrick Brown, your host, and today we'll be talking with Bob Kenward, who's representing GotPhoto during this live broadcast. So, without any further ado, we'll go ahead and move forward. I wanted to talk a little bit about Rise 3, which we just had. That was our third live workshop in something just buzzed on my computer. It was our third live workshop that we had in Columbus. The first one was in Virginia. The second one was in Orlando, Florida. And then we went to Columbus, Ohio in December. Yes, Columbus, Ohio in December. It was very well attended. We had 20 plus photographers from California to New York there. Small enough group where everybody got individual attention and lots of shooting and models on Sunday. It was a great event. We got all of our reviews. Actually, we're missing 3 reviews, but most of the reviews we averaged out at 9.3 out of 10. So the reviews were excellent, and we appreciate that. Folks are already making money with the content that they learned at that time. We had folks from beginner level to 10-year plus vets in the business at the workshop. So anytime you attend one of our events, don't feel like you'll be left out because you're either just starting or it's just too much for you. There's something for everybody at our workshops. So I'm going to go ahead and I think a picture's worth 1,000 words. I'm going to show you a little recap from Rise 3, and we'll go ahead and run that right now.
You guys got to come to Rise 3. You're going to be miles ahead of the education. I got something special. I got the sauce. Anybody going to come in your neighborhood? I pity the fool who doesn't come in your neighborhood.
Come back in. So yeah, I put that little post-event promo together while we were still there. We had lots of little cuts and clips to put together And when Howie puts his magic on it, you'll see the real one. But that's just one to hold us over until he gets a chance to get to that. So without going any further, I just want to mention we're going to have Bob Kenward on. He's our guest on tonight, representing GotPhoto. And I'm going to let him go ahead and talk about online versus paper order forms, which is what we all used to do. There's still some folks still doing paper order forms. And the reason for this broadcast is those that haven't made the decision to switch to whatever platform you choose to use for your online sales. Here's an opportunity to hear from one of our colleagues who's used both and still uses both in some instances. Again, I'll let him speak about that. So we don't have any allegiances to anybody. We just put the information out there. I try to get the best content for you and let you guys make the best decision for your business, for the events that you're putting on. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead and bring in Bob Kenward. Welcome, Bob.
Hey, thanks, Cap. Appreciate it.
All right, all right. I gave the little intro, so now you can go ahead and do your own intro and tell us what you want to share with us.
Sure. So I'm Bob Kenward. I own a small volume photography company in Central Virginia. I'm a GotPhoto user for about the past 18 months or so. And I was invited to the Rise 3 workshop. I spoke about online sales, the advantages of doing that, and then a little bit about the advantages of GotPhoto versus some of the other platforms that are available. It went great. I think there was a lot of good information that was passed along and good questions. So I guess I can summarize it a bit here. We don't have quite as much time, but one of the things that if you're not already doing online sales, if you're still doing order forms and everything, I can tell you from experience, because I used to do it that way. When you switch to online sales, your amount of workload that you have, especially post-event, is greatly reduced. You'll have less work to do at the event. You don't need to staff a payment table. You don't have to worry about the order forms, buying the order forms, printing the order forms, whatever you're going to do. And then afterwards, you don't have to worry about data entry or figuring out all those orders or doing a Rose events, kind of lab submission or anything like that. Use your online platform to sell your products and allow them to gather all the data from the parents, and collect the payment and then ship it out, ship direct to home. If you want, you can do a bulk shipping with a lot of these platforms if you want to deliver to the league that way. Kind of depends on what your agreement is with the league. But when I switched, I used to do the paper order forms. I used to get the pictures back from the lab. I used to sort them. I didn't even know you could get them sorted by player at first. And I used to put them in mailers and mail them or deliver them in bulk. It was just crazy. It took all my time, and when I switched to online, that was all gone. So I'm proud to say now that with doing exclusively online sales, I like to work no later than 4 p.m. on any weekday. And I don't work Saturdays and I don't work Sundays unless it's a photo shoot. And of course, in the volume world, we have a lot of Saturday photo shoots and evening photo shoots, but that's all. I'm not sitting in front of the computer doing a lot of work after hours or packaging orders or anything like that. One of the nice things about online sales is it also allows you to do multiple pose. That way, so that the parents can see those multiple poses. The more poses and backgrounds that you give the parent to choose from, the better your sales will be. They will buy more. Now, a lot of people think that when you go to online ordering, you may not make as much. You may not have as many sales. And I will say you will not have probably as many, a highest percentage of parents buying as you did with order forms. But the amount of sale that you make per order tends to be much greater. So I went and I pulled a lot of my data from quite a while. So let me just get to my information here. Yeah. So I went back when I was doing single pose order forms, pay at the field kind of thing. I averaged about $21 per athlete, not $21 average order, but per athlete. So if the league has 100 kids, I made $2,100. That's what I'm saying. Is it doesn't matter how many purchased. It was the average per subject photographed. When I switched to multi-pose online, that went up to $35. So I had fewer actual orders, but the orders were far greater. So the actual sales per athlete photographed goes up. So I'm making more money and doing less work. That's the wonderful thing about it. Kat, do you have anything you want to pop in? Any questions? Or do you want me to just ramble on with this? Cap, you're muted. Cap, you're still muted.
There we go. I'm
There you
good
go.
now. No. I'm watching in the background. I won't leave you hanging.
Okay.
So no, you're doing good. I like your analogy when you talk about the two biggest platforms, which is Got Photo and Photo. I believe those are the two top. Your analogy of the Harley and the Vespa.
Okay, yeah. So I started out. I was with Photoday at first when I switched to all online, and I love the platform. It does exactly what it's designed to do. It works great. I did switch to GotPhoto about 18 months ago. There were certain features that Photoday didn't offer, and I looked for alternatives. And I spoke with the folks at GotPhoto, and I was really impressed with the platform that they had and the maturity of the platform. So I ended up switching, and now I'm still using. I still use Photoday for some galleries, but 99% of my galleries are on GotPhoto now. The analogy that Cap's talking about is something I did at the workshop. And here's how I compare them. So if you think of both Photoday and GotPhoto, they both do exactly what they're designed to do. They allow you to market your photos, collect your payment, ship your orders, and make you money. And that's the great thing. Photoday is like a Vespa. So if you're familiar with those Italian scooters that they ride over there, they're very sleek and sexy, and they get you from point A to point B in style, and you look great doing it. But the difference is GotPhoto is kind of like a Harley. So it also gets you from point A to point B in style, and you look good doing it. But the difference, Vespa, you kind of get what you buy, and there's not a lot of changes to it, not a lot of customization that you do to it. You just ride it, and it works great. Harley, you get that, and some people keep it exactly the way it is. They keep the stock Harley, and they don't do anything to it. Other people change the fuel tank, or they put a mural on it. They change the handlebars, they change the wheels, they put a sidecar on it, they tow a trailer with it, they put a different seat on it, they put different pipes on it. They can do whatever they want to it. That's the difference I see between GotPhoto and Photoday. Photoday works phenomenal. Point A to point B, gets you there, does it in style. GotPhoto, same thing, but you have a lot more control and a lot more configuration that you can do. And it just, for me, I like that better. I like to be able to set it up how I want it, set the colors the way I want it, set the look the way I want it, set the sales the way I want it. It has upselling features. It has great couponing features. It just, to me, it's just a more robust platform, more feature filled platform. And that's why I switched to it. But you have to make the decision that's best for your studio and your business, whatever works for you. They both do the same. In the end, they both do the same job, and they both do it very, very well. So you just have to decide what you want out of your platform, and whether you want kind of the plug and play, which works great, or do you want to be able to tinker and do some different things and solve some problems that you might be having, or do some things a little bit differently. That's how I see it.
Right,
It's the
right.
Vespa Harley analogy.
I also remember you. I listened, even though I was walking around. I was listening to everything you said. You mentioned depending upon the amount of sales that you have starting out, one might be better than the other because you're a numbers guy. So you can break that down a little bit for the folks.
Yeah, that's true. So the way they collect their commission is different between the two platforms. So Photoday takes 10%, but they take it on just the sale of the product. They don't take it on shipping or tax. GotPhoto, they have different plans. They can either take 12, 9, or 7, depending on whether you want to pay a certain monthly fee or not. But they take it on the full sale, so including the tax and the shipping. So I ran some numbers. I did a spreadsheet because I wanted for myself when I was investigating, what is the cost difference or comparison. So I used my average amount of order. My average order at the time when I calculated this was about $52. So I used that as my average order, and that's how I figured out how much shipping I might have in a month based on a $52 orders and a gross. So anyways, to get down to the information, basically at about $3,500 of gross revenue in a month is where the break-even point is between Photoday and GotPhoto as far as the monthly cost. If you're making more than $3,500 in a month, GotPhoto on their top tier, their pro plan, will save you money over Photoday. If you're making less than $3,500, then then Photoday may be a little bit cheaper, and it definitely changes as you go down in revenue. It just kind of depends. But there's other factors too to consider. One of the things I noticed when I switched, I'm a Richmond customer, and the sheet cost was radically different. So with Photo Day, I was paying $1.30 for a sheet from Richmond, and with GotPhoto, it was 85 cents. So there's that factor too. That doesn't, I don't know if that's true for all the labs. You have to do your own investigation and kind of figure out your own cost of doing business versus what you want to spend and what you want to do, and the configurability that you want.
Okay. How about the texting features with GotPhoto versus Photo Day? If you want to send a text out to your customers.
Sure. So, I think both platforms support, and I think Photoday also supports email now. So both platforms support email and text to your customers to announce your gallery is posted or you're having a coupon sale and those sorts of things, which is wonderful. With GotPhoto, like I said, it's very configurable. So you have the ability within your studio dashboard to configure those texts and emails. So you can change the wording of them, the content of them. You can change when they go out. You can add new ones. You can take ones out if you don't want them to send. You control all that right from your studio dashboard. So you have complete 100% control over how that is done. You also have the ability to go into your job or your studio dashboard and send what they call newsletters, which are basically email or text message blasts, and you can send those to every customer in your for a job, or every customer in your whole studio. You can send them to only customers who have purchased, customers who haven't purchased. You can kind of do whatever you want. You can take a specific job and send it to just the ones who have purchased and give them a special offer to purchase more, or the ones who haven't purchased. And it's very, very easy to do. You just click, 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 and type what you want. Or there's certainly a lot of pre-formatted messages that can be sent out, and it's just wonderful because it just goes out and it's wonderful.
Okay.
It also supports changing price lists. So I know there's a lot of people that like to, archive a job and then maybe not really archive it. So
Right.
with GotPhoto, I do that. I have an archiving date set. So all these emails go out about the archiving date coming up. And again, you can change how often those go out and who they go to. So those emails go out, the sales go up, and I actually, on the archive date, I have the price list automatically change. So it's the same price list plus 10 or 15%, depending on what the sport is and what I've done. And I call that my unarchived fee. Basically, if you go in an order after that archive date, you're going to pay more because it has to unarchive, but it's not really archived in the first place. But it drives the customer to make that purchase. And I think we've all seen that if you do any kind of archiving, whether you actually archive or not, but if the messages go out, you'll see a surge in sales as that date gets closer or is there. And I think that's a great way to drive a little bit of extra income when the job is kind of stagnant. So.
Okay. Now, what about the? I heard a lot about the QR codes. So, do you have to do a QR code using GotPhoto with your kids?
So GotPhoto is a QR code driven platform, but you don't have to use QR codes. They also support the Intagged system, which is a little plug-in that goes onto the camera, and
Hmm.
that embeds. And then there's a names list that you read on like a phone or an iPad or something. So it's a lot like the Face Find in that you scroll a list of names, select a name, and then it embeds that information that you've put into that list onto the actual file that the camera is taking, and that lives with that file. So the advantage there is that later on down the road, if you search for Freddie or something, Fred Smith on basketball, you'll find his image because it's tagged into the image rather than in a separate CSV that you might download, and then you can then have to tag it yourself. So that works great. I use NextGen for my graphics creation for all of my large leagues and such. So I barcode with NextGen, and then it seamlessly integrates with GotPhoto to generate the private galleries and everything I need to do those sales. So I don't actually use the QR codes. I've used them a few times, and they work great. But I'd prefer not to because I don't want to have to take a picture of something else. A lot of people do. They capture them off of an iPad, or some people do it different. There's a million ways to do it. Again, very configurable. Lots of different ways to get the job done with GotPhoto.
Right.
And so it just kind of depends on what your workflow is and how you want to do it. But you don't have to use the QRs. You can do it other ways.
Okay, and your I might have missed it, but your process for doing that part, you don't use the QR code. So how do you do your kids? How do you identify your kids?
So if it's a next gen job, if next gen is going to do my graphics, I upload my roster to the next gen system and I generate barcodes from next gen, and then I barcode as I go along, and then the data file that next gen generates gets uploaded to GotPhoto and it associates that with all the subjects. I do other ones that are not next gen, and I'll use something. I'll either use the QR code if it's a small group, like a travel team or something. There's 12 or 15 kids. I'll
Right.
use QR codes, or I'll use Photoday's Face Find, and that works phenomenal. That's a great technology, and that's another way to do it too, is to use the Face Find and then export the composite. Export that Photoday allows, and then use that to associate your subjects with your images. So there's a million
Okay.
ways to do it. You just got to figure out what works best in your workflow for the job you're doing.
All right. So since you're a user of both platforms, but primarily it's got photo now. What type of jobs do you choose for Photo Day currently, since you use both platforms?
So I do things that don't lend themselves well to private galleries. So like graduation, when I have, it's a boatload of pictures. There's a boatload of diploma presentation pictures. There's a boatload of pictures of graduates in seats. A boatload of pictures of graduates marching in, and the parents. I can tag those and separate them into those groups. But still, with 300 graduates, there's 300 shots of kids getting their diploma,
Right.
and for the parent to find their child, the face find that Photo Day offers is great. So they just, as you know how that works, they upload a photo of their child, and then it pulls
Right.
that photos of all that kid out of all of those tags and presents them to the parent. So that works great. So I use it for those things when I want to do a big group gallery, and there's no easy way for me to narrow down the pictures for the parents, and I use Photo Day for those jobs.
Okay. All right. Uh, uh, Full disclosure, everyone. I am once I find my face again, I am a Photo Day user myself, but I'm always open and looking at other things to make sure I know that everything that's out there, and I'm choosing, like you said earlier, Bob, choosing the
Mhm.
proper platform for my business. Almost got into a PPP. But I love Photo Day. I've been using it almost 2 years. They fixed some of the major issues that a lot of us had. One was the shipping issue. That has fully been corrected. It costs an extra dollar for the customers, but the issue has been resolved. I just looked a couple of days ago at orders that came in, and it looks like it's about 6 days from order to them actually getting their product. And there is a legitimate tracking number now
Mhm.
that actually works. They're not using that mail innovations, where the labs aren't using the mail
I hear
innovations
about that.
anymore. Hey, for real. We use White House again. I don't know if it's true of all of the platforms out there, but with White House, they got it together, and everything I've checked in the last couple of weeks, they've been getting them in 6 days. So I really appreciate that. There was another um, issue. It'll come to me later on, but that was one of the big ones, and that really helped out. So I'm gonna look in the chat here, see if we have any questions. We've got 11 live folks in here. I know I've got my sister, my nephew in here, but anybody have any questions in the chat? Go ahead and type them in. Da-da-da. Let me see. Let me look here. We just got some welcomes here. Jennifer, welcome. Hello. We got a good evening from Facebook user. I'm not sure who this is. Jennifer is a GotPhoto user. She says GotPhoto is the bomb. Jennifer, did you use GotPhoto from the start, or did you use another platform and you went to GotPhoto? I'm interested in hearing that. So if you're still there, Jennifer, type that in. Hey guys, that's my nephew Ayunk. Sister, everybody's jumping in, chiming in. I appreciate it, family jumping on here and supporting. But there's got to be some photographers in here. Go ahead and type in. It's rare that you get the opportunity to talk to someone who's used both platforms. It's an unbiased opinion from one of our colleagues. And Bob, I appreciate you when you came out live and coming on for this session to share this information with folks out there so they can make an informed decision.
Yep, absolutely.
So I don't think anybody's pushing anything on anybody. It doesn't make us any money whether you use that or use another platform. We're just trying to share. So, any questions in there? If there are no questions, I'll go ahead and move forward. And by the way, we do have GotPhoto's one of their marketing reps in the background. If anybody had a question about marketing, or I'm not exactly sure what she mentioned, she handles the marketing for GotPhoto. So she
Yeah.
is in the background. If anybody has
Yeah.
questions about that.
One of the things that I can add about GotPhoto too is they're very, very full featured on schools. I don't do schools, but I know enough to be dangerous, and I see the lingo where the parents can go in and choose the yearbook photo. It does all the exports that you need for the yearbook and things like that. And I think Photo Day does a very, very similar set of features, but there is quite a robust set of features for schools, and perhaps if anybody has a question on that, we can either muddle through that or somebody from GotPhoto can answer that in the background.
All right, good, good. I am looking at the comment, make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Okay, here we go. We've got, here we go. Facebook user. I'm not sure who you are. You got to give StreamYard permission so I can see who you are. But what kind of information do you need from the league before the shoot?
So for my photo shoots, my goal is to get obviously the player information and the team they're assigned to, and then their parents' name, their email, and their phone number. And I've never had trouble getting that. Again, I don't do schools, so I know from schools sometimes that can be an issue. But for all my rec leagues and travel teams and everything, I get that information. I basically tell the point of contact that I have that that's required to generate the private galleries that ensure child privacy and things like that. And you kind of couch it in that vein that it's a child protection issue to do private galleries, not have everybody see everybody's pictures. And I've never had any pushback. If you can get all that information for either platform, Photo Day or GotPhoto, then you have everything you need to market to those parents via text and email. You have everything to set up private galleries if you want to do it that way, and all the ammunition you need to fully market your job. If you can't get some of that, and there's different ways around it, with the registrations and such, and both Photo Day and GotPhoto have ways to handle it. If you don't have data, if you just have the kids' data and the team they're on, or even if you don't have anything, you can. It's just more work. You just got to kind of train your leagues. If there's no law against giving you the information or set rule from a school district, then they should be giving you that information, and they're entrusting you with the photography of their children and everything. They can trust you with some information from the parents and such.
Okay, great. We have another user here, a viewer here. Vicky, how you doing, Vicky? She says she uses GotPhoto and chose them after SPAC last year. So good. Vicky, were they represented at SPAC? I'm sure they were. Everybody's at SPAC.
Yeah, they were there.
So they were there. I imagine Photo Today was there, and some of the other platforms were there as well. Vicky, what was it about GotPhoto that had you singing their praises and deciding to use that platform? Interested to know. You can type that in the comments. And I think we caught up with everybody in there. We're at 29 minutes. We don't want to drag on with it, folks. But if you have questions, go ahead and type them in, and we will look for your questions. If you ask a question, I will come right back to it. In the meantime, I will multitask here and go on with a couple of other things. I put up a banner. Let me get it back up here real quick. Rise, the three of us, myself, Howie, and Kane, are going to launch a virtual store on our website, riseworkshops.com. Prior to Rise 3, we got quite a few requests for online content or access to the live presentation in some type of virtual format. We've talked about that before. In fact, before we did Rise 1, we were headed in that direction. And then something happened, and we're like, let's go ahead and go live and do it live in Virginia. We had a great venue, and that's what we chose to do. But at the same time, we do recognize that some folks who want to come, who want to get that information, have challenging issues, whether it's transportation, whether it's time off of work, whatever the case might be. So why not offer both? So that's what we decided. And January 1st, we'll launch that page. It'll be on our Rise websites, website, there'll be another page there called the virtual store, and there'll be a link for each of us. There'll be a link for Kane, link for Howie, and a link for myself, and we're offering different things within our platforms. I think initially, Kane and Howie are going to have their links to their online stores with their templates, and Kane with his foot charts. And I'm not sure if there's going to be other content on there or not, but stay tuned or continue to watch after January 1st, and you can see what they have available. For myself, I'm definitely going to be doing uh, um, live content. There'll also be behind the scenes, recorded behind the scenes content with voiceover. I've spoken at SPAC twice, Imaging, Sync Sports, and someplace else as well. And I have those PowerPoint presentations. So I'm going to do a rewind of those presentations. I'm going to take out all the audio from those PowerPoints, and I'm going to do up to date voiceover to those PowerPoints, and those will be available on my link as well. There will be a subscription option. There'll be a one-off, just purchase the actual content yourself, or you can actually rent the content. Like those of you that are old enough to remember Blockbuster, yeah, you could actually rent the content for a week or so, get what you need out of it, and go from there. So we'll be launching those January 1st. So take a look at that. If you have any questions about that, you can go ahead and type those in the comments, and let me look and see while I did that brief commercial if I got any new ones. Okay, Vicky came back. Yes, I was considering both, but got wind of integration with NextGen, who we use for our graphics. Whoa, that's a nice selling point. So those NextGen users, you might want to check out GotPhoto if you're not using GotPhoto. So that integration between, help me out, I forgot his name, Bob, in Southern California.
Wes.
How I forget Wes. That integration with Wes and GotPhoto. That dude is a stone cold businessman. You think I'm a businessman? That guy doesn't play.
Yeah, that integration is great. It's in the first phase right now, so there's still some downloading of CSVs and uploading of CSVs that you have to do between the two platforms. But they're getting close to beta testing the full integration, which would allow all that data to flow between the two systems without the photographer intervening, and the images would flow. So after you approved your proofs with NextGen, they would automatically go into your GotPhoto gallery and be ready to activate. You could do whatever you needed to do at that point. Just hit sell.
All right,
so
great.
That's a good one.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm going to check one more time for any comments, and then we will go ahead and wrap it up. Vicky, I appreciate your questions and participation. Everyone else that's on here and had comments in here. Brian, I see you back there in the back. I wanted you to chime in a little bit because I know you know Photoday like the back of your hand, so you might know some differences too. Jennifer, okay. Let me go ahead and flash this discount link across the screen. So for those of you who haven't made a decision on what platform you want to use and you want to try out GotPhoto, go ahead and click on this link. They were so kind to add our Rise workshops to the back of that. I think when you go to that page, it mentions the fact that they were a sponsor for Rise 3, and we really appreciate that. Really nice working with those folks as a sponsor for Rise 3. And if everybody's got that link there, I'll put it in the comments as well so everybody has it in case you missed it here in the live. So, Bob, you have any parting words? I think you covered most of it.
No, I think that covers it. I hope everybody takes some time off for the holidays, whatever holidays you celebrate. But take some time off with your family and enjoy life, and don't work too hard. Don't be a slave to your business. A shameless plug: I am speaking at SPAC, so if you're coming to SPAC, look for my presentation first thing in the morning on Thursday, I think.
Cool. I will be there at SPAC and enjoying the camaraderie with all the folks there. That's just, I think it's a vacation spot for a lot of us at the end of the year to be able to go somewhere and.
It's a great conference. I'm not hip about the smoke in the casino, but I get over it.
Right. And for those of you that haven't been to SPAC, just so you know, if you're on here and you're watching, you haven't been to a live conference, SPAC is like, it's free basically. It's $399, and January 1st it goes up. So if you haven't got your ticket for SPAC in Las Vegas, you need to go ahead and get on there and get that done, because on the 1st, the price is going to go up. I'm not sure what it goes up to, but look at this. And I get nothing for this, but it just makes sense. For $399, you get like 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, a dinner, a welcome party, a closing party, that $300 doesn't even pay for the meals that they provide you with, let alone the content and all the speakers that are going to be there. So
And the
it's a nice.
rooms are inexpensive also.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So check it out. Check out SPAC. I'll be there. I'm not speaking this year, but I will be there hanging out and fellowshipping with all my photographers that I've met across the country. So cool, cool. And I don't see any other comments. And Bob, I'm going to go ahead and put you in the green room and let me close this thing out, and then I'll come back to you.
Okay,
So I
thanks.
appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. All right, all right. So thank you again, viewers. I actually did pretty good at cutting this thing off. We're at 36 minutes. I appreciate everybody who came on and participated in the question and answer. For those of you that are watching the replay, again, my name is Kendrick Brown with Rise Workshops, along with Howie McCormick and Kane Sampson. They're not available to be on with us tonight, but I'm sure they'll watch the replay and put some comments in. But again, I wanted to remind you all about our, let me get it here, our virtual store. It's coming, riseworkshops.com. There will be a link added there January 1st, and each of us, Kane, Howie, and myself, will have links to the content that we have available. So I hope to see you all there and take advantage of that content. I also have on my link, there'll be an opportunity to book one-on-one time. I got 30-minute sessions and 60-minute sessions where we can just talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. And that would be virtual, like Zoom or here in StreamYard or something like that. So that is available too for those of you that need that one-on-one content. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really excited about that new addition that we have. So with that said, let me go back. Let me find my video here. All right, we are going to go out like we came in as always, and we're going to show you that recap from Rise 3 again. So if you missed our live workshop, here's a little clip on the fun that we had.
You guys got to come to Rise 3. You're going to be miles ahead of the education. I got something special. I got the sauce. Anybody gonna come in your neighborhood? I pity the fool who doesn't come in your neighborhood.
Thank you all for joining the presentation, and we'll see you when I see you. Happy holidays to everyone, and have a happy and safe new year. Rise out.